I'm Chris Miller.
And I'm Kirsten Miller, and we're the owners of MillerMarriott Construction.
Tell us about your experience growing up. You had mental health in your family.
Yeah, both of us. Both have siblings.
Yeah. I think when I grew up, I'm not sure they classified it as mental health. Maybe it was a rebel kid, or they called it the black sheep or whatever. And, reflecting back on it as we've gone down this path now, we had some issues that maybe could have been addressed differently. I know. He's so happy. He's got 3 grandkids with him.
Yeah.
And this
is Chris.
That's Chris. That took his life this last year.
Like you said, I grew up with mental health. I've always been aware of it with children, with friends, with myself. And Sid always, we all think of our kids this way. I mean, I feel Sydney's amazing. She's creative. She's talented. She floats through life. She makes it look easy. She was always the child that made everybody laugh, and she almost seemed too easy. I don't know how I missed this, but literally outside of our bedroom, down the hall, is a call one night from a kid screaming who just took a bottle of pills to kill herself. It's still so surreal to me. Like, I don't know how that happened and how I missed it, and that sometimes it doesn't even feel real anymore. The whole night to me is a blur of Chris carrying her out of the house and us rushing to emergency and spending the night at the hospital, followed by inpatient at Rogers, and still trying to wrap my brain around how did this all happen. I was ready for the fight, though. I was ready to be there for her. We have a really strong family. We all rallied together. Her step-siblings, her stepdad, everybody was there for her. And I think that was part of her successful journey from there. Will she always struggle with her mental health? For sure. Every phone call still today I hold my breath a little just to make sure she's okay.
So this home really is more than Sherry Tell. This is deeply personal.
I need another timeout.
MillerMarriott Construction Company out of Waukesha County is stepping up to shed some light on mental health.
Its charitable foundation has partnered with suppliers, subcontractors, and vendors to build a charity house. Proceeds will go to mental health nonprofit organizations, and for the next several months, this nearly 4,000 square foot house will host mental health events that educate and boost awareness.
What made us want to do the charity home now? We've been looking for a way to give back to community, and we had thought about it for years, and it was right in front of us. We needed to lean into what we do, which is build homes, and use that in the people we work with, our subs, our resources, the people we knew locally to create this home.
I think when we decided to do it and we started telling people, I think they had a hard time wrapping their head around it. And I think they still do. And as the word is spread and they come in and we explain what we're trying to do, I think the light bulb starts to go off. And I have to just give a ton of credit to Kirsten. If it were me, I would have built a house and wrote a check. And she just was like, we have this incredible opportunity to really be a voice in the community. And as that's transpired, I just am amazed at what she's done.
And I would add to that, the reaction to people still today will be like, you said you were going to do it, but I didn't think you were really going to do it.
Yeah.
And there's homes that are in the community that people will hold charity events in. It's very common, you'll have a Christmas house or things like that. But when we explain to people that this was different, we're donating land, we're donating our services, our subs and vendors are donating materials and labor, and we're going to sell it and donate the proceeds. When people heard that, they couldn't wrap their brain around it. Like, you're really going to give all that money to charity? We're like, yes. It's not just about holding an event. It is, we are donating the hard labor and the work that went into this house to charity. We started to research opportunities and where we would, and mental health was always really close to us anyways. I was familiar with NAMI as an organization, and I think we really started there. We met with NAMI at the state level and at the local level, and things just fell in line. It just became so obvious to us it was the right cause.
NAMI Southeast Wisconsin is a local affiliate of a national grassroots organization where we provide support, education, and advocacy from a lived experience perspective. They had talked with NAMI Wisconsin about the charity house. They were very interested in having donations go back to the local community for local programming.
In the middle of all this, someone at NAMI explained to us, oh, well, this makes sense. That in the construction trades, men 45 to 65, that's 4 times the average of the suicide rate. And I remember sitting there thinking, I had no idea. I'm like, and I'm building this house and these are my people. Like, yes, this is another sign this is the right way for us to go.
Have you ever heard of anybody do something like this?
I have not. So interestingly, I have heard about a charity house. I have never heard of anybody doing anything on this, grand of a scale. And again, really tying in, not just the mission of the organization, but the lived experience.
I think everything's looking great.
That Chris and Kirsten bring to it, and their bravery and sharing that lived experience is just amazing.
I will say I went into the last event, and the effect it had on me personally, I couldn't imagine how it affected everybody else.
There's a woman who's been a great proponent of our home building who came up to me at the end of that night and literally, Gary, grabbed a hold of me and held me and hugged me so tight. As she pulled away, she had tears streaming down her face and thanked me for talking about it because her son committed suicide at 18, and finally somebody was talking about it and she felt some freedom. I'll never forget that moment.